Some have made studies showing that there is an inverse relation between the consumption of tobacco and the incomes of people. The tobacco for low social classes is 50% bigger than the higher classes. This phenomenon is explained by the model named Modelo de los Cuatro Caminos, which says that the upper classes are the first to have contact with the tobacco, and this spread this practice to the lower classes. But after this happens, the upper classes are educated about the effects of smoking, and most of them cease to consume it, while the lower classes, by not being educated, don't quit smoking. The tobacco consumption contributes to the impoverishment of the lower classes, and this represents the 10.7% of their expenses.
The viability of tobacco consumption is great because in almost every ambit it is profitable in legal ways. The production of tobacco is very cheap in comparison to the price at which it sells, since it is a legal drug and it is not hard to get. Its consumption is not seen so negatively by society, since the media has made it look pleasurable for the community to consume. But since the government has taken different actions to reduce its consumption, the selling and consumption of this has been made harder because there are non-smokers who don't like to be bothered with the smoke of tobacco, so the smokers have more respect of where and when do they smoke, so it makes its consumption decrease.
To carry out this project, we are going to need as materials graphs, videos, and computers. Our hypothesis is that tobacco consumption is a social issue that affects the daily life of the people in our country. By doing this research, we can also analyze if there is any relation between the absence of information about the consequences of consumption of tobacco.
Tobacco consumption is a worldwide problem because it causes a huge number of negative effects in humans and in life. Like, for example, it can cause health sickness, it damages the environment, it can reduce economic productivity, and a lot of other bad consequences. It is also a problem in the economy of the consumers because they have to spend at minimum 50 pesos per week. It is important to note that tobacco doesn't bring only health problems but also economic changes. We thought that tobacco consumption reduces economic productivity because it needs a significant amount of money to be sold and consumed. A lot of persons with low incomes prefer to spend their money in this habit than in food or education for their families. Environmental problems derive not only from the smoke but also from its production. We can start talking about that big pieces of land are destroyed or degraded for tobacco plantations. Next to that, there is a lot of water polluted by the tobacco industry. Here in Mexico, we can analyze that families that consume it have a significant reduce of economic productivity. This means that while someone smokes tobacco, that person will start spending a huge amount of its own income in that. In addition to that, a lot of diseases that may kill people brought with them high costs for treatments. Mexico and the United States look pretty damaged with older consumers in many healthy aspects, even though this consumption brought huge income to the countries. That's why probably the government does not do that much to stop this consumption.
A problem in our country. In Mexico, 6 million persons die by the consumption of the tobacco. It is an addiction, and that is a problem on the field of the public health. Tobacco is the cause of a disease that relates with the diseases that are causing more health problems in the world. And smoking in Mexico is closely associated with major morbidity and mortality indicators regarding cardiovascular, pulmonary disease, and various cancers. And it continues a major public health problem in Mexico, both for its appearance and its disabling high lethality. Tobacco in the United States. Tobacco is responsible for 1 in 3 cancer-related deaths. This problem actually causes more deaths than AIDS. Each day, more than 3,200 people under 18 smoke their first cigarette, and approximately 2,100 youth and young adults become daily smokers. 9 out of 10 smokers start before the age of 18, and 98% start smoking by age of 26. 1 in 5 adults and teenagers smoke. In 2011, an estimated 19% of US adults were cigarette smokers. Approximately 18% of high school students smoke cigarettes. In 2011, nearly 18% of high school boys were current cigar users. From 1964 to 2012, the proportion of adult smokers declined from 42% to 18%.
In the last few years, there has been significant progress in our country aimed to protect society from the harmful effects of tobacco have occurred. On August 12, 2003, Mexico joined many other countries in adopting the Framework Convention of the Control of Tobacco. On May 30, 2008, was published in the Official Gazette of the Federation the General Law for the Control of Tobacco. Its purpose is to protect the health of the population, protect the rights of non-smokers, and institute measures to reduce the consumption of tobacco.
Social class can also influence your decisions because the people that are around you will usually have a direct effect on the decisions that you make. In conclusion, we found that your social class can have a direct effect on your decisions in terms of the amount of tobacco you take. Mexico and the US have both been taking action to reduce the disease and the health issues that can be caused by tobacco, as well as the economical effects and the negative effects that tobacco products have on society. We're making a positive change in the world by taking direct action.